two. Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good and tard, bonjour, ça va bien, everything around the world. This is Benny Snow, No Holds Barred Podcast, Season 2, Episode 3, with the legend himself. He goes by the name of, I ain't going to tell you yet, but I'm going to tell you what he's about. He's a CEO of Dance Concepts. He's a CEO of Souped Up. He runs a regular show Monday night on Kool FM. He's a drum and bass, jungle, connoisseur, legend. He goes by the name of Benny V. Give him a round of applause, people.
Hey.
How you doing, bro?
Snow.
Do you know what? It's
Good to see you, man.
Do you know what? It's
From Benny V to Benny Snow.
I know.
Too many Bens.
I know, there's a lot of Bens.
Too many Bens. There's a lot of
You've
Bens.
got, is it your thing on Insta that all the Bens?
Oh, yeah, Boomtown Bens.
Because in jungle, there's loads of Bens.
Yeah, there's Benny L.
Yeah.
There's another Benny
Ben
Snow,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's,
Ben Snow.
Yeah, Benny Page.
Benny Page.
Benny V.
Benny.
And there's actually a new guy called Benny.
Benny, what's the rapper? Benny Banks. So Ben's quite a popular name in the music game.
Too many Bens.
Well, too many Bens, too many Bens.
Too many Bens, you got it.
So the whole objective of No Holds Barred is people know you as the artist, as the DJ, the promoter, the organizer, the DJ, producer, etc. I want to know before Benny V. I want to know where it all started, how your love of music. Just give us a sort of like from day dot, yeah? Where were you born?
Born in Mile End, so East London.
Hey, Sanderbow Bells?
Sanderbow Bells,
yeah.
Original Cockney.
So, schools you went to? Primary school?
So, primary schools were, one was in Forest Gate.
Yeah.
Then I spent like a couple of years in Clacton, believe it or not. Yeah.
Clacton on Sea?
Clacton on Sea, yeah.
Yeah.
Then moved back to East London,
yeah.
Walthamstow. And I'd say Walthamstow's probably...
That's where I know him.
Yeah.
When I moved up from Hackney and that.
E17.
Yeah. And he's got a famous brother in the music game. I'm going to call him Original Trip Tonight, a.k.a.
Trip Tonight, Dan Jolly.
Dan Jolly.
Big up, Dan.
And I'll tell you why I get the name Dan Jolly. Because I said to him one day, yeah, we were out on the party one. I said, you look like Dom Jolly. Yeah. He went,
hello?
Hello, yeah. So...
yeah, brought up Walthamstow. That's the important years. Because at the end of the day, right, whenever people say, where did you grow up? And I've lived in a few different places around East London and bordered on Essex, like I said. But the formative years, I was 12 when I moved to Walthamstow, and I was 19 when I moved out of Walthamstow. So those years, I mean, I was a kid at 12.
Shaped you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, from a kid to, all right, I'm still a kid at 19, but I'm a kid that can drive. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Walthamstow is where the heart is in a way.
So then, see, I met you and dance concerts, great event, double-sided flyer. And how did it start? So we're going a little bit for that. So how did the love of DJing come? Where did the love of being a DJ come from? Was it you got a set of decks?
So music has like always been in the household. Like my old man used to like tour around with bands, like cover bands, 60s Tamala Motown.
He's got a few skeletons in his closet.
Well, me and my brother for a start. Then there was like he started DJing as well. He was called the Rabbi of Soul, and he used to play Trojan reggae. He had like, I swear to God, he must have been the only like white Jewish guy in East London with the biggest Trojan collection you've ever seen. He used to order them on import and everything.
That's a lot of music then.
Oh yeah. So there was always music in the house, and then I did performing arts, to be fair. So I went to stage school in the end. I used to travel across to West London, Hammersmith. So again, performing, acting. Still music involved. And then when I turned 16, I got my two first part-time jobs.
Yeah.
One was at front of house at the Dominion Theatre, because that's theatre. And then the other one was as DJ at Lee Valley Ice Rink. Right?
So what?
So I was 16 years old.
It's how you met Darren Halsey. Was he a good ice skater?
Yeah, he was a good skater, yeah. And so I started DJing at 16 at Lee Valley Ice Rink.
So hold that thought. So for you young connoisseurs, so it's in the middle of, it's Leighton Hackney, yeah? It's on Leabridge Road, and it's the ice rink. They just rebuilt it. But on a Friday night, they used to have a skate-off, yeah? And it was a place to go. So we playing the hip-hop, the newest music, the urban music, and he was the DJ.
Even jungle. Even jungle. Speed sessions. Yeah. Mate, you had to play a bit of jungle on the speed sessions. So you'd clear, what would happen is you'd have disco lights go on, everything's flashing, and then you'd be like, I'd be on the mic saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a beginner, can you get off the ice because it's about to go down.
So what about a little birdie told me you in the build?
Yeah. So again, from stage school times, to be fair. So like, from the age of like, I'd say
And Granger, I've heard as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done my research.
Teens, all my teens really, like from about 13, 14, all the way through to sort of 19, I was still doing it. I was like, doing a lot of like TV work and stuff like that. And then the music thing kind of just started like taking off, because the thing when you're a young actor, when you're living at home, it's cool because like if you get work, sweet. If you don't get work, also sweet because your food's on the table on the Monday and whatever else.
Sorry, Bubba, how you think next week? Is that all right?
But like when you think, do you know what, it's time to move out, it's time to get my own life going. Yeah. And that's when sort of like work kind of takes over. And like, whereas the acting was sporadic, the DJing was 3-4 times a week. Yeah. So in the end, it kind of...
So what age were we talking about, 16, 17?
No, this was like, sort of late teens now.
Late teens now?
Yeah, late teens now, sort of 18, 19, 20.
Were you learning at the same time, or was it like dad...
Yeah.
Big brother, little brother?
So because I started DJing at 16, and when... Do you know, I started DJing professionally before I even owned decks.
No way.
Yeah, so I was like literally thrown in at the deep end. And then because I had a bit of a natural flair for it, my old man was really decent of him, like said, oh, you know, for your birthday and your Christmas combined, right?
The two bubble both. Yeah. We do that now.
Yeah.
The big present.
The big present was a set of Technic 1210s.
No way.
Yeah, so I got...
You're talking £1,000 then, didn't you?
It was a lot of money, right? Yeah. So I got...
Hold up, not even Sound Labs.
No.
Shout Daddy out.
Yeah, big up the Harv. Big up the Rabbi of Soul.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Come on. So, so he got me a set of Technic 1210s, and like... There was enough speakers in the house anyway. Come on, as I said, he was in a band. Like, so, like, I had my room stacked up, like, and I was just like literally learning there. And obviously, Dan lived with him, so he was like, "Can I have a mix?" Yeah, of course you can. So Dan was like learning to mix at the same time.
Where did you go and buy your vinyls every week?
So the first vinyls I ever bought was at Music Power in Ilford, and that was with Phil Shaw, aka Crisis. So big up Phil. Yeah, Phil. Who I met at Lee Valley Ice Rink, funny enough. Yeah, and then like...
Was he skating or DJing?
Skating.
Yeah.
In fact,
was he
happened...
Good?
He was a good skater, right? Yeah. But then what happened was, so I remember, this guy, I think his name is Michael, used to come up and give me like these jungle tapes. Can you play this jungle tape? Yeah. Right? There was a cassette player. This is 90s, right? There's a cassette player at the ice rink. And so I was like, well, let me have a listen first. And listen, it sounded right. So I'd play like 10, 15 minutes of this mixtape. And then every week I'd come up with a new mixtape. And then I said to him, oh, like, how long you been DJing? And he went, oh, it's not me, it's this guy here, right? And it was Phil, who was like quite quiet and shy, right? And I'm like, oh, they're yours? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, nice to meet you, kind of thing. And then we just ended up being friends from there. So, so I used to go Music Power with Phil. In fact, Phil and I would travel all over. Music Power, the local one was Record Village in Walthamstow, obviously.
On. Kia.
Big up Kia.
Come on. What's he doing? You ever see? I've not heard of him.
I heard from Funky at Moondance that he does estate agents now.
No way. No, Kia was the man, because we'd go in there, we'd spend hours in there, and he'd the love. What you don't realise, you youngsters, you go to a vinyl shop, and you flick, and there'd be the white label, so there'd be a big stack of new tunes. You go to, what, Kia, hypothetically, what's the new tunes? And they go, these ones. And you get your own little deck, and you sit there with your headphones, and you get all your flyer raves. This was the go-to place. This was our musical. This was our YouTube. Yeah, wasn't it right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we'd sit there, go flick. Oh, I like that one. And you know what? You'd spend hours in there, wouldn't you?
You'd spend literally hours, not just in record shops, but travelling to record shops.
I know.
So
Criminal Records,
over in Black Horse.
Black Market. I never went Black Market. Shout out, Nicky.
Well, Black Market, that was my regular, to be fair. So yeah, big shout to Nicky and Ash Attack and Profile, and Ray Keith and the rest of the gang. So yeah, in fact, Kia used to play the Garage Room at dance concepts. Yeah, I used to book him for the Garage Room. Yeah. We'd go to Remix Records as well over in Camden, which was a bit more hardcore, but it was hardcore and jungle. Gonna send out a massive shout to Rollin' Matt, who worked at Unity Records as well.
Matt, shout you out.
Matt Littman, big up Matt Littman. Sam and Josh Littman's cousin.
No way.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So they're personal friends of mine and my brothers. Yeah. But man. So record shops all over the place, and especially when I started the flyer runs, then I'd be going to record shops all over the UK.
So you networking at this stage, before you go social media and all that, you had to personally go and turn up and get to know. Like, that's where we come from. So
it was different then.
So what was your first radio station that you?
Eruption 101.3.
Rude Awakening when we used to be on. Remember Rude?
Yeah, so it was Eruption 101.3, and a guy called Transit got me, my brother, and Nicky Blunt on all at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? I had a meet, funny in those days, with Demolition Crew and Manic, a.k.a. Steve Courtney. And, in fact, we met them outside Lee Valley Ice Rink. Yeah. So
iconic.
I finished my gig at Lee Valley Ice Rink. And then there's a pub over the bridge and opposite side of the road. I met them there and, had a little chat. So Eruption was my first station. Then I had a brief spell just knocking around on Addiction FM, and there was one called Stomping FM, and then Rude Awakening. The opportunity came up, and that was a station that was going places. The Sunday lineup on Rude Awakening was ended up being like a rave lineup.
I just had the baddest. I remember you telling me that, because I remember Snow, it was near Arsenal Stadium, yeah?
It was right next to...
And it was on an altar. Was it on an altar?
So there was a couple of studios. There was one in the church. There was one in the church.
I'm a Catholic, man. That's a Rude Awakening.
Yeah, that's a Rude Awakening, mate. The church, right? Literally, anyone that's ever done the London pirate radio scene in drum and bass, the church is the most iconic. If you played on Rude Awakening, and if you ask anyone that's been on that station, what is the most iconic studio you ever went to, they'll say the church, right? So, and it was mad because exactly as you said, right? It was this church that was no longer occupied, obviously, and the decks were set up on the altar, right? Now, when we first started there, it was very nice condition, right, and very clean. Now, after we've been there like a couple of months, right, bit of spray paints, maybe even a bit of like live raving while you're playing.
Oh, no way.
Because suddenly there's like people in there, right, that have been sleeping there.
You go to a radio set, you go like, people go,
yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, in fact, there was one incident, right, so the lot of us, right, and to this day, this is one of the funniest moments we've ever had pirate radio, right? Me, Lockstock, Chip Tonight, right? We're all doing a dance concert crew takeover show on Rude Awakening, right? We turned up the DJ was on before us, and there's this guy on one of the altar seats like this, right? So I said, "Who's this guy?" And the DJ was like, "Don't know." He was like that when I got here, right? So we're like, oh, all right. So we started doing our set, right? He's there. Someone, I can't remember who, someone played Champion Sound, right? And then my man jumped up, right? Like this. He went, "Oi, when you hear this song in a rave, you just got to get your gun out."
No way.
Like that, right? And we all looked around like, what the...
Did he actually?
He didn't have a gun. He just said it.
Yeah, but you're thinking there.
Well, no, I wasn't thinking it. I was just thinking, like, this guy was comatose a second ago, and now he's going, you've got to get your gun out in a rave for this one, right?
I'd be more concerned he had a gun on him.
And then he just sat back down like this. Back into whatever hole he was pulled out from. And, like, we were busted. And to this day, if you was to say to Lockstock...
Like that one.
Play Champion Sound and what's the name you think of? Everyone will tell you the same thing.
So going from pirate radio, when did the idea of, so you're DJing now, you're getting on the circuit, how did dance concept come to like...
So to be fair, like...
Where did the name come? I like the name. Very, very well...
So do you know what, right? So there was like... So the first part of your question, I was already resident at Labyrinth, right? And I've been playing at Labyrinth since I was 17. I wasn't even old enough to be in there, but I was playing there, right? And do you know what? I was finding it hard to get anywhere else, right? Because back in those days, you're giving demo tapes or whatever else. And like One Nation was like really big, and there was Dreamscape and Helter Skelter and all the other raves and Roast and Telepathy and Desire. And like, you're giving mixtapes and no one's ever coming back, right? So I got in Labyrinth, but I couldn't break anywhere else. And it's annoying, right? Because I wanted to. So I thought, do you know what? I'll do a rave then, right? And obviously book myself and book my crew.
Wow.
Right? So I thought...
To get yourself known and get you in with it, that's what?
So that's how that come about.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a very smart marketing way.
Yeah, I thought, do you know what? And like, all my crew are on there, and then like I make sure everyone's looked after, and then people start getting bookings in other places as well because they were playing at Dance Concept. So that's how that come about.
So I remember there was a place in Romford, I don't know if it's still there, it's called Secrets.
The building's still there, but it's not a club anymore.
And there'd been raves going on there, and it was sort of a place where it was booked. But I always remember the glass room that went into another room. You opened two buildings.
Yeah.
I always remember this, because that room was never open.
No.
And so they put on a rave. I want you to tell them your lineup, and I want you to say, because you said to me earlier off camera, to put a lineup on, it costs money. And tell them your lineup you had there.
Oh, mate. So the lineup there, Andy C, Mampy Swift, Nicky Blackmarket, Brocky, Skibber, R.I.P. Det obviously was there, Fearless. It was like Twisted Individual. Then the garage room was Ramsey and Fenn.
One of my first events I played at, you know that?
Yeah, it was like a really big lineup that had been put together. And it's mad as well because actually not everyone may know this, but that was actually 2 venues. Right?
Yeah,
there was Secrets, and then there was RM1 next to it. Now, what used to happen is Secrets was the big club, and RM1 was the smaller club, right? But people didn't realise that actually it was one building owned by the same person. So actually, what you could do is you could open the upstairs, which was called Inner Secrets, which is the glass one you're talking about, and then that led back down to RM1. So I said, I want to hire the whole place. I want to hire all 3.
So you took a big risk. Did you sort of know, or did you know it could either go north or south? Because you know.
So I'd put on events at that point at Labyrinth. That was a very natural place to put on your first event. And then I was doing them at Scala, and that was good as well. And then I thought, you know what? I haven't done home turf yet. Yeah. And although I was like, I'm East London, Romford's it's close, right?
Of course.
So I thought, I haven't done home turf
20
yet.
20 minutes, half-hour drive.
Yeah, so like I'm looking for a home turf venue, and like there was Faces in Gants Hill which weren't big enough, and then I tried Time and Envy, they didn't even bother coming back to me, so I tried Secrets.
What was the capacity? Because I'm telling you now, if we can find a picture, send it, we'll put it up in this podcast. It was ram. It was like. I've been at raves and it was wall to wall. What you must have filled that?
I've got the record capacity of that venue ever.
No way.
They'd never
what
had
was it
about 1,200.
Wow.
Right. They had never had that capacity before, and they've never had it since.
Wow.
Now they'd never had it before because they'd never had all 3 rooms open. Yeah. So normally you either hired RM1 or you hired Secrets, and I'm like, no, I want the whole thing. Wow. Open up the whole thing.
Did you know in your heart, you know, as a punt, but did you know, what was your marketing campaign? How did you, so you have your little rave. There weren't no social media at this time.
Nah,
so how, was it flyer packs?
Flyers and obviously adverts on radio.
Adverts as well. Yeah.
And then you would do the, you do your show on pirate radio to plug it. Yeah. And then Rude Awakening, to be fair, were very supportive. Yeah. So they would help out with a lot of the promo. And then because this one was in Romford, I'm going to send out a massive shout to Daz Syndicate, who literally just recently passed away, and that was like really heartbreaking.
R.I.P. man.
But yeah, I did shows on Syndicate because that's Essex. So I'm thinking, well, hold on, maybe those guys won't want to travel all the way into London for a rave when they can travel to the London border at Essex. Yeah. So like I hit all the Essex pirate radio stations.
Back in these days, they would go to local events or events of their magnitude and stand outside there. So imagine you're coming out of Bagley's, they'd be standing with a team giving them flyers. Can you come into here, come into here? Do you know what used to piss me off? Did you ever get pissed off when people used to chuck the flyers?
Yeah.
You used to go like that and go like that, disregard, you just paid out all this money, and then someone go like, and I'd go to them, listen, if you didn't want the flyer, don't take it. Well, don't chuck our work on the floor. Yeah. But people rip it in front of me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. People do all kind of stupidness. Yeah. And like, to be fair, the way I looked at it was like, I try not to get wound up by anything, really. Yeah. You always do like I think I might not say you're a dick, but I might think it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I don't say nothing, but people could be rude when they're coming out of raves. But do you know what? Some people are just rude, aren't they?
So the strength of that, because I remember Coliseum. I remember there's a few like other big venues, but I remember Coliseum very, very, very naturally in my head because it was such a.
So the people, right? So I'm going to preempt you here, right? So the people that owned Secrets, they own that event that they hold at the Excel called Erotica.
Oh no way!
Right. So it's the same family that own it, right? And so when I said like I want to book Secrets, and they were like, for drum and bass, not sure, we've never had drum and bass in here, right? And I'm like,
were you first drum and bass there?
Yeah, first drum and bass event in Secrets, and I remember Nicky Blackmarket coming up to me and he went, "You've nailed this," like during the rave. He went, "You've nailed this. You've absolutely smashed this." I was like, "Thanks, Nick." And then I think it got to the Wednesday.
Oh, good. How old are you now? And what year?
I'm like
19?
Yeah, 1920. No, about 20.
What year we're talking? 90?
2000 and early 2000s,
2000,
right?
Yeah.
So right, I'll tell you the other one as well, which was fucking a bit random, right? Was we used to sell tickets, right, in the record shops, right? So
Sell and return, innit?
So yeah, you'd leave the record, you'd leave the tickets in the record shops, and that's where people could buy them. And the shop in Romford was Boogie Times.
Yeah,
right.
Boogie Times.
And
taking me back, man.
The most random thing, right, is I'm sitting there, my phone rings, and I look, and I'm like, that's Boogie Times, right? Yeah. I've rang Boogie Times a million times because I want to know when this vinyl comes in, right? They're ringing me, right? And I'm like, what? Yeah, so I'm like, answer, hello? And he's like, oh, is that Benny V? I go, yeah. And he went, oh, it's Neil from Boogie Times. And I'm like, yeah. We sold out your tickets. And I'm like, I'd only put them in the weekend, right? And I'm like, what, all of them? And he went,
how many are we talking?
Oh, I gave him like 200 tickets, right? And he went, yeah, we sold them out. And I'm like, oh. And he went, can you get me some more? And I'm like, yeah. I called my old man. Rabbi Soul went down there, right? Because I wasn't at home. I said, can you go to my room? Right? I still live at home, right? Go to my room. Can you pick up these tickets? Can you take them down to Boogie Times for me?
No
way. So I was a bit mad when Boogie Times called me to tell me they'd sold out in a weekend.
Wow. So, for the strength of that, you know now, you've established, it was quite, do you know what, you're like the More Fire lot, and then some people have this, and it's generic, it sometimes it just works, the wind, the elements all work, and same with More Fire, they hit a tune and it went wildfire. You've done your first rave, it went wildfire, even though you've done your ones, but you've done a big setup. Now, that rave was up there with the best of British, like everyone's looking at the Helter Skelters, looking at this double. I even liked your marketing because you used to do the double open flyers, like so it'd be like 4 sort of folded like that, big DC, and it was always that sort of, you know, that sort of future space sort of like, you know, how the sort of font was all done. It was wicked, like.
Yeah, it was like a futuristic font, and like the idea of having the DC, like the D being the inverted C, so like it was symmetrical, right? And you could use that symmetry anywhere on the flyer.
Where did the name come from?
That was the second part of your question earlier. So I was sitting there just trying to. I knew I wanted to put on a rave, but I couldn't think of a name. And to be fair, it was really fashionable for like to have dance in the name. United Dance, World Dance, Rave Dance, Moon Dance. There's all these ones, right? And so I'm like, do you know what? I want to get that in there somewhere, but like I also want it to sound a little bit more kind of like, I don't know, like a bit kind of like techie, a bit kind of like futuristic, a bit sort of something like that. So dance concept. And I was like, I like that one. I was writing them out on a bit of paper. That's what I was doing.
There any others before concept? Concept of dance concept.
Yeah, I probably tried both of them. I just remember I had a bit of paper and I just wrote out loads of names. And it wasn't like
Very
in
smart,
one go. Yeah, it wasn't in one go. It was like one of those ones where I would leave it, come back to the paper, look at them all again, and then in the end, dance concept. To be fair, I probably spoke to Phil Shaw again about it and said, I think this is the one. And he's like, yeah, that's the one. Because Phil Shaw was always the person in that era that would like, was like my right-hand man. Obviously, my brother was my brother, right? And like, one of the rules was...
Was he like your mentor? Was he like your go-to?
Not mentor, but yeah, it was the person whose opinion like I really trusted because he was very much a student, right? So say like my brother and Nicky Blunt and Lockstock.
Shout them out. Shout the Dance Concept crew.
The original Dance Concept crew. So those guys were all wicked DJs, right? And they were all like larger-than-life characters.
Nicky Blunt.
Yeah, all larger-than-life big characters, right? Phil was the quiet one. Phil was the student one. Do you know what I mean? Phil was the one where, like, he would say to me, have you heard this new tune? I go, no. And he'd show me and I go, that's sick. Yeah? So, like, Nicky could scratch, Lockstock could play garage.
Only DJ could hold a tune for fucking hours.
Yeah, like, Lockstock could play garage or jungle. And, like, obviously, Dan Tripp Tonight was, like, also a wicked DJ, could scratch. could double drop all the big classics. Dan was your party DJ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Dan was your party DJ. If I was like, I want someone up there who's just gonna play party anthems and just kill it, Dan's your man, right? But if it's like I want someone to go a bit deeper, Phil's your man.
Phil's your man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So like,
when will Lockstock come into it?
Oh mate, so true story, right? So Lockstock had records, but he hadn't learnt to mix yet, right? And he said at the first ever rave, can I come down? And I'm like,
hang on. Just quote that again. Lockstock had records.
Yeah, had records. He hadn't learnt to mix yet, right?
I love you. I love you.
Lockstock's just larger than life character for real, right? And he said, can I come down? I said, yeah. And then he's like, oh, it's sick. So he comes down, and the first DJ in one of the rooms hadn't turned up. I went, you're on. And he went, what? I'm like, you're on. And I'm like, he was like, oh, I didn't know he was really going to need me. I said, you literally asked, you've literally turned up with records, you're on.
No way.
And he was like, all right.
How'd he do?
He did all right.
Yeah, I feel I was on his set.
Yeah, he did all right. He held it down. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he went in too much with the mixes, but he done all right.
Do you know what? When I met him, he could mix though.
No, he's a wicked DJ. Yeah.
So from there, you're established. You're going. What was it? World domination. Was it like wow?
Yeah, I mean, like to be fair, in drum and bass, there was like so many other big brands and so many other big events and DJs.
Was there jealousy in a way? Was there like, or did they look after you? Did they sort of mollycoddle you?
Our generation, and this is the beauty of it, right? The generation before, the original generation, hated each other. Yeah. Sorry, I've said it on camera.
Like hardcore? True. The hardcore.
Well, I'm talking like the drum and bass promoters.
Yeah, yeah. So
most of them, most of them, right, didn't have good stuff to say about each other, right? I guess because they saw each other as competitors. Yeah. I get that, right? Yeah. And then when this new generation come through, Best of British, you mentioned earlier on, me and, in fact, Dan and Ryan are best mates now.
Big up R-Type, love R-Type.
Big up R-Type, yeah. My brother and R-Type are best mates now, right? Yeah. And there was Shiloh and the Future Thinking guys who also started the same time. And do you know what? Rather than like, I think we all had the attitude of we love the scene because we love the music. Yeah. Whereas maybe the original lot, not saying all of them, they were there for business, right? So we're like, well,
you're the ravers that become DJs.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So we were, especially when I started, I was the same age as the ravers, right? So it was like, we'll work together, and I think that works better. Yeah. I think that works better.
I think you've done well. I think the team because that's when I started to get to know you, and the team you had, and don't forget me, that if these boys, Benny V's eating, his team's eating, so he let them do the marketing, come back and they go out, can you help me do this? So you had that No Iron team, which is great. They'll go out, like, promote, because you know what? To have a piece of the pie, we've got to work together, and that was great, because some people... It was
good, and the other thing we'd do as well is, like, and Nick was the best for this, right, is if I was getting bugged, right, if someone was bugging me, because no one's doing anything horrible, but say if someone's bugging me, can I have a set of dance concert? Can I have a set of dance concert? In the end, I'd say, oh, you got to talk to Nicky Blunt. He's in charge of that. Yeah, right, and like,
we'll give his number.
Even though Nick wasn't in charge of that, right, he'd assume the role like he was, and he'd go, I'm in charge of that, and the guy go, I want a set. No.
Yeah, it's just say no.
It takes the heat off me, do you know what I mean? So it was like...
How many times did you say no?
Oh, mate, it's everyone. It didn't matter who it was. Oh, is it you I've got to speak to you about a set for a dance concept? And Nick would go, yeah. Oh, can I have a set? No. And then I don't have to be the bad guy.
So, in this mix, this is when dance concept recording starts getting materialising?
Yeah. So, to be fair, like, I'd say a record label is like a really natural progression. Yeah. From that. To move into from events, right? Because again, you hit a ceiling. Yeah. So you mentioned already, so I did events, Scala, Coliseum, Secrets, Graceland Studios, Labyrinth, all over the place, all in London, right? And but then you hit a ceiling because once you've been doing it, what's the next step? What's the next step?
What's the next door?
Right. So for me, it was record label. Yeah. So I really wanted to start a record label, and then as it happens, I got introduced to different levels. Big up Jason, who did the original Stevie Hyper D album.
This is what I want to get to, because this man co-produced, put it out in Dance Concept. The legend himself, Stevie Hyper D, he had own recognition of putting that together for his family. Yeah. Let's give him a round of applause, man. That is a round of applause for Stevie Hyper D. Wish I saw him live. So let's go into this subject now.
Yeah, so like...
That must have been an honour. Was it presented to
you? Oh,
you
it was an honour, yeah.
Was it like, wow, can you...
So I was doing a couple of bits with different levels in the studio, and we were working on some tracks, and like, we're sitting there and he's going to me, oh, I've got all these like unreleased lyrics by Stevie that had never come out. And I'm like, is it? And he's like, yeah, it's a shame.
Was he his producer? Was Stevie Hyper D working in his studio, and so tracks that never got finished, sort of thing? He had all this...
Or vocals he recorded, but no tracks to go with them.
Oh, wow.
Right? So...
Sorry, so you're telling me you only had the vocals?
On most of the tracks.
So you had to put the...
So would write music to the vocals, yeah.
So Stevie Hyper D went into a studio and just freestyled his lyrics?
Loads.
A cappella?
He would like listen to current drum and bass in his cans, and then he would like spit over the tracks. So then you've got clean a cappellas.
And how much did he have in...
there was tons of lyrics. Oh, wow. Tons of lyrics. Now there had been an album that come out already on Island, which is like a big label, part of Universal, right? Big up Darkus, and that album was signed, and then between that album being signed and coming out was when Stevie passed.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So it was like really, I mean, apart from like the fact that, you know, Stevie was a dad and a brother and a son, so like the family lost him, and friends lost him. But aside from that, musically, it was also like really tragic because you've got this album
just
done
to go,
and he's not here.
That's sad. That's so sad.
He's not here, and they've recorded.
Are we talking months, weeks from dropping?
Yeah. So the album I think came out. The album Stevie passed away in '98. I remember that just because I remember it, right? And I think the album must have come out in '99, right?
Wow.
So it was all done, and then by the time it came out, Stevie wasn't with us anymore, and there was vocals for second albums and stuff like that recorded, and that's what didn't come out, right? So I'm in the studio with different levels, and he's going, oh, I've got all these great vocals, it's a shame they never come out. And I'm sitting there thinking, is he hinting? Because like, I would fucking love to put this out, right? And I'm like, yeah, it is a shame it didn't come out. I was like, I'd do it, right? And he went, would you? And I'm like, yeah. That's a really, you know...
Of course,
it's an honour.
Oh, of course it is.
So the first album and the first couple of releases was Stevie stuff, and I didn't make a penny. Yeah. But that's all right, because first of all, I want to give something back to my hero, right, and his family. And secondly, what way to start your label, yeah? So like, and I was open about that. Yeah. So I didn't take a penny from it, but at the same time, I have got like a big artist to launch a label, yeah.
That's priceless.
So so when different levels said that, and he said, right, you got to get the blessing of two people before you can do it. One is Ida, which is Stevie's mother, and the other is Nicky Blackmarket, right? So I knew Nicky, so I rang him, and he went, Ben, that would be brilliant. So I'm like, all right, sweet, that's one down. And then different levels organised him and I going to Ida's house in Fulham, and so we went round there and we explained what we wanted to do. And she gave her blessing too.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how the album.
What was he like live? What was
Stevie? Oh, the best.
Yeah.
The best.
And you jump and swing and sway.
Honestly, I'm just a junglist soldier.
Because I was unfortunate to have the tape packs and never see him live, and when I was getting to see him. But even now, like I could listen back to his timeless. There's a one with him and Jumping Jack Frost. Jumping Jack Frost, bad boy DJ, when we jump and swing and sway.
Mate, there's so many.
R.I.P. Stevie Hyper D, you know what I mean? And to have that on...
You could do the hip-hop flow.
Yeah.
You could do the singing flow. You could do the reggae flow. You could do the double time flow. You could do it all.
I know.
And he was just like literally the best. And like then Skibber started coming through. Right? Again, R.I.P. Skibber.
Skibber as well, man.
And there was... So I said this on an interview with Chef on Kool once, and I think Chef misinterpreted what I meant. There was a rivalry between them, not between them two, but between the fans of them two. Right? So there might be a bit of a camp that said, I think Hyper D's the best, and there might be another camp, I think Skibber's the best, right? But the Hyper D camp was a bit bigger.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. And for me, Skibber is amazing. Yeah. Right?
They're goats, though. They're goats.
They're two of the best the scene's ever had, and like the scene is worse off for not having them
I know.
anymore.
I know.
Yeah. But you know, Skipper's mad humble about it as well, though, because like I said, we put on a Hyper D tribute night. Dan Jolly did a lot of the work on that one, and Skipper turns up and he goes to me, Benny, before he did anything, Benny, introduce me to Stevie's family, please.
No way.
They were roped off in a VIP bit, right? And I'm like, yeah, of course, come through. And so like I brought him through and I said to Stevie's family, I said, oh, this is Skibbity. I said, the only person that could rival Stevie when Stevie was around. And Skipper went, no. No. He was like proper humble.
He's a goat. No, Steve, like, they're the goats. Imagine two of the greatest of the scene, like passed away, R.I.P. Skipper and Stevie Hyper D. But they shaped the scene. So the scene is a big asset to, you know, everyone else is coming out. So how long did you spend on that actual album putting? How many tracks was it?
The first album was an 8-track LP.
Was it hard work? Was it beautiful? Was
Yeah.
it too much work?
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much work.
Did you get told by the missus?
Oh, my nan as well, she used to tell me off. Where are you doing this charity album? You're not making any money on. Right? And I'm like, because I want to.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, look at it this way, the experience I gained from doing it and the support I got from like people, you know, playing the tracks on Radio 1 or whatever else. So do you know what? Like, it was so much hard work, but it was worth it.
Is that one of your biggest accolades in drum and bass jungle?
The Hyper D album.
One of the biggest accolades.
Probably, but like I think I've moved on since then.
Yeah.
So like
So it's next
now, I don't think it's as relevant now.
Yeah.
Like I think to maybe our generation, but don't forget, drum and bass has a new generation now.
Yeah, of course it has.
Right. So when you go to, this is what I love
So
about
they're in the
drum and bass.
archives of Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So say there might be people our age, and they might say, "Oh yeah, Benny V did the Hyper D album." Yeah. The kids won't even know.
Well, I've met kids that don't even know Morpho is.
Yeah.
Like 14 years ago, you know, they'd be like, what? I mean, what top 10? No, I'm mad. So, Dance Concept, you do that album. When did Souped Up get involved? Is that a more current thing? Is that? Are we going a bit forward? Are we?
Oh yeah, that was much later down the line. So
from the Hyper D album you put out, shout him out to the family and all that. What was then the next? Where did you go from there? Where did Dance Concept then? Because you're back now. I'm sitting.
Oh yeah, so there's releases coming out regularly. Yeah. I've got releases from people like Aphrodite, Sub-Zero, Modified Motion. Rice and Peas come out.
Filmed in my old studio.
Come on. And yeah, so there was lots of stuff like happening on the label, and then the parties come back. We did a year-long tour at Rhythm Factory. Did you ever come to any of those events?
I wish
in the
I
East
did.
End of London?
No, I wish I did. I think I wanted to, but
they were good, man. Because there was Ken Dog was there, and I've got some of my last photos.
That fault. Can you get out my special thing I want to show Benny V? Ken Dog was one of our dearest friends who passed away. The thing, it's there, look, under the blue thing. Oh, it is. Oh, so tell me about this.
Come on.
Tell me about this. I was told up to talk back and forth.
Come on, look at that. Look at that, man.
That.
And we played in the charity game.
Yeah. Tell me about this.
Well,
R.I.P. Ken Dog, look.
So, first of all, right?
Our best friend.
So, first of all, Ken Dog was like such a boy, right?
Oh, really great.
You know, he could always just help you out in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Some of my last photos I've got of Ken Dog was at Dance Concept events at Rhythm Factory, and like, do you know what? He was just honestly,
I know,
such a nice guy.
You're just scathing over the top. So basically, after Kenny passed away, Ken Dog, your dad used to work for Tottenham, yeah? So you had links in Tottenham, being a Majid, though, wrong team. So
I think that was Ken's dad. I think that was Big Ken that organised the charity event.
But we played the Tottenham veterans.
Yeah. So I think
Clive Allen.
we both captained.
Yeah.
We both. Yeah. I came out captain in this shirt, right? I came out captain, and you came out second half captain against Tottenham.
Clive Allen.
There was Paul Allen, Mark Palco.
Clive Allen.
There was like Clive Wilson. There was like Stuart Nevercott, who was captain of
Mill. They bagged us up,
mate. Right, so
right. 50 of me.
I'm not a small guy, right? Yeah. I'm not a small guy, right? And like, I can't remember if I was defending or attacking a corner. I can't remember, but somehow me and Stuart Nevercott go out for the ball. When I say my man ragdolled me, ragdolled me, right? He sent me flying, not fouled me, just sent me flying as I went up for this header, right? The next corner, I'm like, fuck that. And you know me, I don't shirk nothing, right? I am not marking this guy. Fuck that. Someone else mark this guy because he just ragdolled me 5 minutes ago. But yeah, that shows the difference, innit? Because like my man, I think he was like captain of Millwall for about 8 years or something.
They were like, even though they're retired, you can see
he still had
the
the touch. Come on, they still had the touch.
That's kind of the frame.
And the other thing as well is like after
Nicholas Ibrahim,
right?
R.I.P.
And then when Kenny passed, the next vinyl we pressed, which was a really big track, it was the Sub-Zero remix of Trigger Technology by Prisoners of Technology. Yeah. And if anyone's got that vinyl at home, that Dance Concept vinyl, and they might have seen R.I.P. Ken Dog, right? Because that's pressed on the vinyl. Wow. That's why.
See? There you go.
That's why. So if you've got that vinyl, I got that vinyl, go and have a look.
Yeah.
It says R.I.P. Ken Dog, and it's
see
Kenny.
What a dedication, man. Let's give him a heart. Let's give Ken Dog
come on, man.
a heart. So we used to play football. So, but we're quite keen footballers. So Dan was a good baller.
Yeah.
Still, you know what I mean, captain. He asked Benny, "Do you want to come and play for East Aleem?" Yeah.
Yeah.
And he used to have East Aleem. He used to have the F2 guy.
Oh, Jeremy Lynch.
Jeremy Lynch, F2.
Yeah.
He used to play for that. And I remember one time this big, and I'm telling this stocky black fella come over. And he goes, "This is Mampy Swift," and I was like, "What, he can ball?" Mate, he had the quickest feet.
Mate, twinkle toes.
Mate, my feet. When I see Mampy Swift up top, mate, he's like 18 stone plus solid, yeah? I mean,
like a buffalo.
Isn't he? He's like, his little feet don't match his body. They were like that. Shout out Mampy.
Oh, do you know what, right? When Mampy played at one of my raves, right? And we both started talking about football, and he said he played. And like, I'm not going to lie, right? I looked at him and I thought, yeah, you say you play, but like you don't play. You're too big, right? That's what I thought.
He's more rugby build, isn't he?
That's what I thought. You're too big, right? Not fat. The guy's not fat. The guy's muscly. No, right? He's WWF.
You
right?
wouldn't mark him in the corner, would you?
No, I wouldn't mark Mampy either, right? So anyway, he says to me, "Come play for my five-a-side team over in Finchley." So I was like, "All right, yeah, ball's life. I'll play football anywhere, right?" So I went down to Finchley, right, and I'm like, "What? I didn't know he was going to be like this. Twinkle toes, dribbling, skills, right?
Skills.
But to this day, right, I swear to God, right, I see him clatter into this guy, right, because he's a big guy, right? Yeah. I clatter into this guy, and I don't think this guy's landed yet. Right? This was 15 years ago, right? I think, right, I once saw a satellite see this guy still orbiting the Earth, right? Because when I say, like, this guy took off, I mean, this guy was going sideways through the air, right? And it wasn't a foul, it was just Mampy hit him on a shoulder to shoulder, and this guy just...
He was a baller, though. We had some ballers. You just have the musical lot come over. Lock, stock, and ball.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who's Eric? Shout out Eric, man.
Eric Barker. Yeah, Eric was a good
man.
guy. Was a good guy.
Who was the big mixed race guy in midfield? Mark
Williams.
Yeah,
Mark. Yeah, from South London, Dirty South. Yeah.
But...
And he was putting on parties as well. Like, but he was doing like R&B kind of like.
Oh, he was
stuff,
doing the suave things, wasn't he? Mayfair.
Yeah.
He was doing the
not the dirty.
Sweaty,
not the dirty. It was the dress smart in a suit event.
So we're going to get into questions soon, and then we're going to go into a set. So from there, Dance Concept, you're doing the album, tracks coming out, then you're still in the music game. Souped Up. Let's get to the Souped Up part now.
Oh, right, yeah. So Voltage was someone that had released on Dance Concept, and I'd done tracks with him, and he just said to me, you know what, you'd get on really well with Serum. And you'd really like the sound as well.
Big shout out Unique.
Oh, big shout out to DJ Uniques, obviously,
family.
Because that's the thing. So, you know, like, we're talking about the Dance Concept crew, right? So the original Dance Concept crew.
Go on, tell me.
Obviously, Nicky Blunt, Trip Tonight, Phil Shaw and Lockstock, right? Yeah. And then time evolves. There will always be the original Dance Concept crew, and that will never change. And do you know what? I shout out those guys every single set, right? Yeah. Even if I ain't spoken to them for months, right? I will give those guys a shout every set.
So that's the original,
right? So then the new generation, so now the people that Uniques has been part of the Dance Concept camp for a long time. And do you know what, right? I was thinking about this the other day. I've got to give the guy props because he is a soldier in the scene, right? And he's got releases, he DJs at the parties, and even now he's started helping out with a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So Uniques is there, right?
He's unique.
He is unique, right? So big up DJ Uniques. We've got Exile on there, Entice MC, Mystery is back MCing at the events, K-Jar, Coda, Gravity.
Hold up, and hopefully Benny
Snow, come on. Bruv, you're coming down to our vinyl night. We've got a vinyl night.
Shout that night out.
April the 6th at Planet Wax in New Cross, right? And it's a free party, so come down, right? Yeah. We're going to be playing old school drum and bass. It's going to be myself, Aphrodite, Uniques, Gravity, Fader, and then MCs are going to be Benny Snow, right? And we've got Mystery, Blacker, a Booty, which is what I call him, but his name is a Booty. And we got Slimmest MC. So like, come down.
I know Slimmest. Shout out Slimmest. He's a mad Tottenham like you.
He is. How do you know Slimmest?
Because we do the Starbase thing. So
sick.
Starbase event, and he goes in my dad. I don't know if you know this, but my dad is the doorman of the Coach and Horses on the high road. The big guy,
right?
Big Tell. So
Okay.
he's been there over 15 odd years. So Slimmest said, like, I'll go in that pub and I'll go, what's that's my dad.
Well, there you go. You're going to see Slimmest at Planet Wax.
And your camera guy's going to be on the night. Timeless, yeah?
Yeah, big up. So that'll be good. So that's how it come about. And then Souped Up has come up and he's fucking done unbelievably well.
I like your artwork. I like your cartoony sort
Big
of...
up Dan Wolfmask. So he's a Yid. He's
Yeah,
Tottenham as well, right? So
Yid.
we got Dan Wolfmask, who's actually from Scotland, now lives in Leeds, and a big Tottenham fan. In fact, I met him for the first time. I've been working with him for years, but I met him for the first time this season because I went to Old Trafford and I had a spare ticket, so I gave him the spare ticket. So we actually met up for the first time. And Souped Up's done unbelievably well, won multiple awards in drum and bass. And I cannot complain, and like long may that continue.
What's the clothing, man? You got clothing for me?
Brother, I'll sort you out. Don't worry.
Rocking it.
Don't worry, I'll sort you out.
No, I've actually got a couple of t-shirts.
And then now we've actually got I've started a new label with Nick from the Prototypes.
Okay.
Called Roadblock Records. So check out Roadblock Records. Look on the socials.
Socials and all that.
And yeah, it's we've had one release so far.
Yeah.
And I've got some absolute heaters. Right, some heaters over the next year. So I've when you get a really good feeling about something, Roadblock Records, I've got a really good feeling about.
Laws of Attraction. I've always liked him, and you're definitely a Laws of Attraction person. You're an empath. And how do you juggle family life as well, work life, being a father to two beautiful boys, being a husband as well? It's hard, isn't it?
Very hard.
But if you took away your passion, you'd be less of a man, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So what you got to do is like, I think you got. Have you seen that film Yes Man?
Yes.
Yes. Right. So for those who haven't seen Yes Man, right?
Hang on. To book this interview in the podcast, who did you have to run it past?
The boss.
The boss.
Yeah, the boss at home,
Yes,
right? Man. Yeah. So it's like, Yes Man, right? Is like the guy that didn't want to do anything, and then suddenly he was told, just say yes to everything. Yeah. So that's what I do. Yeah. Right? I say yes to everything. Sometimes it gets me in trouble. Right? But
dishes, babe.
Yeah. But I just say yes to everything, right? So you sleep when you're dead.
Yeah, come on.
Right? I'm coming to see you now. I definitely wanted to see you.
And where are you going now? You're going to DJ?
And then I'm going to go DJ afterwards, right? So when this gig come in afterwards, I thought, well, I'm not going to cancel Snow. I'll just do both.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
Wow. So we're going to get into questions. I've got 5 through the questions. It's been such a great interview so far. Then we're going to have a little mix out. We're doing a shout out your social. Let's go to the questions now. Like, just keep it brief and all that as we do. So, what inspired you to pursue a career in music, and what has been some of the biggest challenges you have faced along the way?
So the music thing's just because I've always had a passion for it, and then once there started being a lot of movement, especially with the DJing, it just all kind of snowballed from there. Love presenting. Yeah. To be fair, I mentioned earlier on stage school, so like I've already had experience in doing.
Like me, love the soul.
I've done voiceover work for BBC, ITV, Disney, so it was like going on radio was just. I could do that, no problem. So that's how that come about.
I was just thinking there, it's the switch. You could switch into that mode, didn't it?
Yeah.
You could go from, and they go, hello, like literally in a second, like literally have that moment, because you're great. As well, how do you approach your creative process when writing and recording new music? And what has been some of the key influences that have shaped your sound and style?
All right, so I'm a great fan of music, right? And like I appreciate that a lot of drum and bass is about how good the production is and the sounds and whatever else. But like I'm a fan of music, right? So Omni Trio was like a massive influence for me growing up. And if you listen to some of the tracks that I've written that have come out and also going to be coming out throughout this year, a lot of the piano melodies are myself, right? And to be fair, self-taught. I did have lessons when I was younger as well, but like never to a sort of decent level, so more self-taught now. Omni Trio and music has always been my influence.
Your music. So, how do you think technology has impacted the music industry, both in terms of creative process and the way the music is distributed and consumed?
So it's better and worse, right? Yeah. So in some respects, it's better because anyone can do it. and then also at the same time it's bad because anyone can do it.
Yeah.
So before, like, in order for like tracks to be signed to labels, right, there was a lot more quality control.
Yeah.
Because labels would say, well, is this track good enough? Because I'm going to have to pay X amount for pressing and distribution and whatever else. Now it's almost free to distribute music, right? You get some artwork done and off you go. So the scene is saturated, but then at the same time, the flip of that is if there were gatekeepers before, there aren't now. Because now, if someone wants to listen to your music, they can.
Great, that's great. So it's 50-50. It's a bit of, it's pros and cons, in it. That's a very nice way. I think that's the best answer I've had to that question. I'll ask everyone 9 shows in. What are some of the biggest musical influences you've had and that have shaped your own? You sort of just said that music over the years. So you said about
Omni Trio, Moby.
Moby, I like Moby.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
like
other genres.
Moby. I absolutely love Iron Maiden.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
I go and see Iron Maiden home and abroad.
Best artwork, though, isn't it? Their artwork.
Yeah, I love their artwork. And they're East End boys as well, to be fair, from East Ham.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're East End boys.
I've heard that they're the
Eddie.
It's called Eddie.
Yeah, that's their mascot.
Benny. I got it wrong then.
Eddie.
See, I was wrong there. Right, last few questions. I'm coming to the end of the interview. What advice would you give to inspiring musicians who are just starting out? And what do you think are the key skills and qualities that they need to succeed in the music industry today?
Make the music that you like.
Yeah.
Right? Don't try and blend in and don't try and do what's cool or current. Just do what you like.
Yeah.
And then as long as you like doing it, you won't stop.
Yeah.
Because if you sort of start compromising on what your tastes are and what you like and you don't get somewhere, you might stop.
Yeah. So that's a great example. That's really good. I want to just cast a little part of that. To make one good tune, sometimes you've got to make 100, didn't you? Sometimes you've got to make 1,000 to find out one tune. You ain't going to, very rarely going to go one and go one. You've got to continue. Yeah. They're the questions. We're going to ask you the last 3. It's been really good. It's been a nice interview, isn't it, guy? Really nice. I'll take 3 of these, quick, sharp. We do it in every interview. Yeah. And just answer, I'll shake it. You did one earlier. I think get the same one.
Tottenham, who are going to draw? No one, because we're out.
Tottenham or Arsenal?
We're out of everything. Look, boobs or bum.
You got it earlier.
Did they all say boobs and bum? Earlier on, like, on the test run, I pulled out boobs or bum. They all say it.
Boobs or bum. What is it
I'm
then?
a bum man.
Bum man. Same it.
Got to be a nice bum. Right, let's have a look. Biggie or Tupac? Do you know, that's a tough one.
Oh.
I don't want to offend anyone. I'm going to go Biggie.
Biggie.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Both. Yeah, see? It's a tough one.
Last but not least. Come on. Boobs or bum, watch.
Dog or cat? Oh, hold on. Or coffee or tea. We've got 2, right. So, dog or cat, I'm allergic to both.
Are you really?
Right.
Yeah,
but to be fair, like, I think I prefer dogs.
Yeah.
But I'm allergic to both, so I can't have either. Yeah.
I'll get you a hairless dog.
Yeah, or a hairless cat. And coffee or tea is coffee. Man.
Coffee all day long. Come on.
I'm a coffee man.
All right. That has been a great interview. I want you to shout all your socials, shout where they're catching you, shout anything you're promoting in the next few months. I want you to give it the clarification now, shout them out, and then we're going to go into the mixing.
Search Benny V on all the socials. It's Benny V on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. On TikTok, it's DJ Benny V. But if you just search Benny V,
Dance Concepts, shout them out.
Yeah, Dance Concept. Again, if you just search it in all the socials, it's Dance Concept on everything, with the exception of Instagram, where it's Dance Concept Recordings. And Roadblock Records, again, the same. Search it, you'll find it. It's very me. If you see the logo, Snow, you'll see it's very me. It's blue and yellow, and that's my favourite colour combination. Yeah. So check that out, and Suits Up, you can find everywhere as well.
And your radio show, your weekly radio show?
I'm on Kool FM every Monday, 5 till 7, playing all styles of jungle drum and bass, old and new.
So make sure you tune in, all right?
Yeah, wicked.
So like, comment, subscribe, press that bell at the bottom of your screen. And I'd like to say thank you, Benny V. What a great... Give me a cuddle, we're brothers.
Come on, Snow.
We're going to go into...
Much love.
I want you to point it out. I'm going to go into...
No Holds Bar. This is Benny V's DJ Mix Out.
Jeez. Put the hands in the air, you know. Hey, Stevie. Roughneck, you know. Jungle this soldier. R.I.P. Stevie IPD, you know. I'm a journalist soldier. Jungle alive. Salute the legends. Legends never die. Three to one combination, gonna put you. Cheese. Cheese. Shouts at Charlene Taylor. The Lockstar. It's all family right now, you know. That DJ Shiva. Soldier. Let's shout the dance concept family. Nicky Blunt. Man like Lockstock. Chip tonight. To Benny B, you're gonna mix and blend. Cheese. Be up Guyver. Be up Turbo inside. Be up Kirsty. Cheese. Hey, last 10 minutes of Benny V, you know. True junglist, are you survivor right now? Zoop. Man, I like to get a light. Get a night and we a light. Man, I like, ayy. Get a light, we mix and blend, ayy. Benny V will set the trend, ayy. Again and again. Your feet to run the combination. Gonna bunch you up like a Tyson. Come on, man, it's a super go up. I got you like an AC. On the grass, on the field. Come on, the fan of Holyfield. You know. Like the farmer trying to brew. No, float. Like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't catch me. I'm Muhammad Ali. Who are ya? Where are ya? I walked in, I walked on, I walked out. Live and direct right now, you know. No holds bar. Cheese. Remember, go follow our podcast, yeah? YouTube, No Holds Bar UK podcast. Go and subscribe. Like, comment, press the bell. We're in season 2, episode 3. Benny V will be getting released in about a week and a half's time. So watch out for that, you know. Walked in, man. You wanna tell it like that? I wanna mix it like that. East End, we ain't no goody. Run up in your house, gonna be the bedroom bully. Open your curtains with my big fat woody. Benny V will mix, so should he? Hey! Remember, catch Benny V every Monday daytime, 4 to 6. Drive Time Show on Kool FM. Check out his socials. It's Benny V. Murder, she roll. Shot them a dead man, I cut them a pro. Went to the judge, what I swore by the O. Benny V rubbish, we're gonna have a cold. Check murder. Murder in suburbia. Benny B comes round, he's gonna murder ya. Telling me, ain't no telling me. Benny V will set the trend in drum and bass. Tell him.